What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Subscribe, ring the notification bell, and then you'll be informed of when's best to avoid my videos. Yeah, thanks for all the comments. Lovely chatting to you all in the comments. Got some nice people following the channel. Real Danny G subscribed the other day, so hiya Dan if you're watching. Right, I'm gonna do something a bit different today. Now, there's so much going on with this 3 or 2D Fight Club. Lot of developments, lot of fights being made, etc. If you look back at my videos, I suggested this a couple of months ago. $9.99 pay-per-view. So if it's in the title, have a look for $9.99 in the title. You see I predicted this, or suggested it. Anyway, I'm not trying to make out fucking Nostradamus or nothing. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, right, there's a lot of people involved in this game. It's all a bit complicated, but don't worry, I know everything that's going on in this entire genre. So what I've done, I've put all the people involved here into this sort of basket, their names. So I'm going to randomly pick people out, tell you what I think of them, and how they sort of fit into this 3D fight night, and where their opinions lie on it. As I know, I may be wrong. This is just how I see it based on what I know. Okay, so I put them all in here, so it's all random. So as I say, I got no favourites. Jiggle it about a bit. I got no favourite. I'll look over here, so I'm not cheating. Jiggle it about a bit. I'll tell you what I think of these individuals, really, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So first out with the hat, Exposure TV, Liverpool lad. Like watching his videos. He used to make some very good videos. Very direct, that lad. Now he's sort of, I think he made some videos having a bit of a pop with Kay when Kay first burst on the scene. He's now playing FIFA with Kay most nights. He's sort of Team K, if you like, in one of the circles, the circles and all that. So yeah, he's sort of got some sort of alliance to Uncle K at the moment. And from what I can gather, he's not a big fan of Dicky G being on the 3D Fight Club bill. But yeah, I like Exposure TV. He's quite funny. And he fucking says it how it is, doesn't he? He's not afraid to speak his mind. And that's always a good thing. So, what else we got? I can't talk for too long on people because we'd be here all fucking day. Now, what it says here is Atletico Madrid, Bilbao. But that's someone I was writing at my football bat. It's on the other side. Darren G. Exposure TV will be playing Darren G. I like watching Darren G. There's a lot of people fucking give him shit and all that. And, if you're in that world directly, I suppose he does do a lot of talking, doesn't he? About people who are still active, as they say, which is never going to go down well. But I think he may be one of the people who's got a long-term career in this game. If he's still around. Another one's two Scousers. We started off with two Scousers. Speaks his mind. He's got the added sort of skill of the training videos he does. When I was on a TV programme before, we got a bit of attention off the back of it. And my mate who was in it, Chickenhead, people were getting offers. They had agents. I was the only one in the programme who didn't sign up with an agency. I'm like, what the fuck are you all doing? They all signed up with an agent who didn't really get him any work. But Chickenhead messaged me once. He said, I've been invited to go on, what was it called? Tonapandi's got, no, the Barry Bados, yeah? Some sort of music festival in Barry. And I'm like, yeah, but what are you going to do when you get there, We discussed this before, innit, about people sort of getting fame, for want of a better word, with no talent. And it's like, what are you going to do when you get there, So Darren G, he has got that sort of his training side. If he started making these training videos, well, he has now, and he, you know, there may be some sort of mileage in there. Because if you look at a guy called Wes Watson in America, I think he done 10 years in prison and all that, and now he's very much fitness based, and I think he's a multi-millionaire. So yeah, I like Darren. Not everyone's cup of tea, but as I say, I have no favourites in this game. What we got here? Right, Grass's Nonsense Exposed. Come on the scene recently. Can't work this character out. Sometimes think it's a complete and a sort of spoof. Do you know what I mean? He sometimes talks like he's this sort of old school gangster who'll cut your fucking head off if needs be. And then other times I've heard him sort of making videos when he's having a dump. He seems to have come on and burst on the scene and thought, right, what's the best way to get a bit of publicity? Oh, I'll go team Dicker. And yeah, I can't work him out. Strange lad. Oh, sorry, I nearly cheated him. Oop, pulled two out. Living in fucking London, mate. So he's agreed to the fight. He's fighting, apparently now he's going to be fighting Dicky, and he made a little video saying, yeah, I'll be there. Came across quite calm as well, you know. As I said the other day, you know, people don't realise living in London, he looks skinny on TV, doesn't he, on YouTube. He's actually built like John Jones. Another strange character. You know, is he a bit of a one-trick pony? Possibly. But he's definitely got himself out there, hasn't he? You know, one of the better known of this community. And he's agreed to the fight. You know, I talk about 15 grand, and people are like, oh, they're not gonna get that. They're not gonna get that. But as you'll see on the video, right, that I made about this this event a couple of months back, it says in that about the money that can be generated. Now people are like, we're not going to pay living in London 15 grand when there's 20 people on the bill. Well, break it down simply, right? Forget about, you know, there's all this talk about a 2 grand a table and all that, right? Forget that money, just purely on the pay-per-view, right? I think they could easily sell 20,000 pay-per-views, right? If it's done properly, I suggested $9.99, right? I suspect it's going to be more. But even if it was $9.99, right? Call that a tenner. I think they could sell easily 20,000 pay-per-views, right? If you look at the figures that all these different channels can generate, there's no reason at all why they can't generate 20,000 pay-per-views. 20,000 pay-per-views at £10 each, I believe, is £200,000, right? If you think, right, average out what people are going to get paid at 15 grand, you know, if people like living in London, fighting trolls, you know, there's a few people are going to get more than others. So say they get 15, maybe somebody like Christy could be getting like 30, 40, you know, but you average it out. If there's 20 fighters on the bill, no, sorry, if there's 8 fights, 16 fighters, yeah, if they all get an average of 10 grand, yeah, because like, you know, living in London may get 15. The guy that trolls this fighting who's not that well known, he may be getting 2 grand. Do you know what I mean? So if you average it out, everyone's getting 10 grand, 16 fighters, that's 160 grand. Now you can generate 200 grand by selling 20,000 pay-per-views at a tenner. Plus then you got all the 2 grand tables and all the money for people who watch it live. Plus you got the YouTube revenue based off the back of it. You know, I think the Christy Decker fights had millions of views. So they're going to have all this footage which they can put on YouTube, generate money from that. So this, you know, financially could work. Who have we got here? 1 times 7-fold. Sean Atwood, very big player in all this. He's commented on a few of my videos. Probably just, you know, say something nice to me so I don't say anything bad about him. I'm not going to fool myself otherwise. Still can't work him out. Love a lot of his content from the past, you know. Him and sort of James English were two of the first to, you know, take it on a notch. Start making proper content. I used to watch a lot of his stuff with Jeffrey Epstein and all that type of stuff he was doing, and got a bit suspicious of him during the Covey era, when he started sort of making stuff which was buying into the panic, and I thought, why are you doing that? Why are you trying to make everyone scared of this? So I was a bit suspicious of that. Still, you know, I don't know if he's a complete and utter wrong-un or if he's been wrongly misrepresented. All that stuff with Cali was a bit dodgy. He tried to explain it, but it's still a bit dubious, isn't it? So I always get a bit suspicious about people who are too, like, you know, I'm not a prude or nothing, but people are too overtly sort of sexual, if you like. Do you know what I mean? It's like that video where Steve Wraith, Decker, Jen and Atwood were on, and Decker was flipping talking about his antics in the train and all that, and Atwood was getting all excited and Jen was all excited, and fucking Wraith was sitting there like that thinking, fucking get me out of here. You know, I'm always a bit dubious about people who are a little bit immature. It's like you see on some of these lives, innit? A woman comes on and everybody's personality changes. It's like, oh my God, it's a woman. Do you know what I mean? Always a bit suspicious of people who get a little bit overexcited if sex is mentioned. Videocraig. Now, he did a live the other day. Got destroyed after about 10 minutes. He just fucked it off. I don't know if you've seen that. I think he deleted it. He was doing a live, talking to one of his mates first of all. Went to get some guests on. They porn bombed him. He was getting a load of abuse in the comments, and this is what I said when I talked about him. Now, I don't think you should be censored, especially when you're doing comedy. You should be allowed to say what the fuck you want. But if you say stuff that is out there and shocking, but not funny enough to warrant it, then I said at the time, you know, the consequences are that people don't want to watch your comedy, that people don't want to watch your stuff. And is live. That's how people pay the price for doing things that a lot of people think they shouldn't be doing, you know. People won't watch them, people won't tolerate them, and that's the way it operates, do you know what I mean? If you come on here and talk a load of shit, then there's consequences. It's why I don't target people, because I'm not here to fucking target people. I don't want to fight anybody. I'm fucking 52 and I can't fight. Last thing I want is to be sitting here thinking, oh my God, I hope somebody don't make a video, call me all the cunts going. Last thing I want to do is read a load of comments of people fucking slagging me off. You know, slagging me off is my job, and I'm very good at it, thank you, so I don't need help. But, you know, if you wanna go out of your way to become too involved in this game by jumping on lives all over the place, bringing out videos, fucking slagging people off, there are consequences, and Videocraig paid the price on his live. Marvin Herbert. Now, when I first saw him, where was it? James English, maybe? Hell of a story. Very good storyteller. I think he's one of the ones, like Eamon G, innit? They were two of the ones who first went on other people's channels and thought, I can do this, yeah. And yeah, I find Marvin a bit tricky. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't watch many of his interviews with other people because he talks too much about himself. And after watching a few, I thought, well, it's pointless having a guest, isn't it? He's got a lot of sort of big plans and he wants to help people out. I take my hat off to him for what he's trying to do. Don't always buy into how he's doing it. Sometimes he just sort of seems to like throw buzzwords out there. But he's trying to transition from road to tube. So yeah, I wish him well. It's not somebody I watch a lot of these days, but obviously, I do keep an eye on him. It's just my job. Paddy Conroy. Watched a documentary about him, back in the day. Him, same as Marvin Herbert, back in the day, they were properly involved, yeah? Properly involved, you can't fucking dispute it. They're on a different fucking level to a lot of people involved in this game now. How deep their sort of criminal careers went. Paddy was like extradited and fucking helicopters and fucking right mad sort of shit. I haven't watched it for a couple of weeks. I don't know why, no particular reason, but do find him entertaining. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on with him and Steve Wraith, and I don't really know a lot of that backstory of what's going on up north there, Don't know enough about it to comment, but obviously him and that Sayers bloke have had a big falling out. Paddy's on about all these murders, and it's proper deep stuff in it, so I sort of keep a little bit of fucking tactical distance from commenting too much on all that, because that's sort of some real shit in it. But yeah, I like Paddy, but when he used to first come on, it'd be like, can you keep the noise down with that cock in the background, innit? With his cock roll, his stirring his cup of tea, and done a few paintings. Not bad little artist potentially, Paddy. Seen one or two of his paintings, which are alright. So yeah, very interesting, definitely real, and I'm sure he used to be very, very dangerous. Possibly still is. Steve Wraith. Yeah, another one. He's one that's got skills, isn't he? He's an actor. He's done stuff, yeah. Legally. Books. He does podcasts about Newcastle. He does this, that, and the other. I sometimes wonder why he gets himself so deeply wrapped up in all this, but yeah, he sort of was doing stuff with Dicky Higgy, wasn't he? And then sort of realised, oh, hang on, this is not a good idea, Maybe people didn't actually know what was going on. People maybe still don't. People are finding out things as they go along. But yeah, Steve Wraith, definitely a very talented lad. May have just spat at the screen then. Do apologise. Paul Venice. I like this guy. Recovering addict, like myself. Talks a lot of sense on that. Now there's a guy now, right, who if he used his head, he could be huge. Pardon the pun, he already is, but you know what I mean. Started doing personal training now. One with actual skills, yeah, proper fighter. History of fighting, at a high level. He's qualified in personal training to some degree, I think he said. Very popular. Everyone seems to love him. The ones who don't love him are probably afraid of him anyway, which is a skill in itself. Probably got a big future in this game. Very loyal lad, he seems. The Christy and fighting trolls and all that. Yeah, definitely one to have in your corner. Probably one who's going to outgrow this beef thing and go on to great things, hopefully. True Geordi. Right, now I put him in because I know he's not involved in his day-to-day beefs, but he's the marker for this, isn't he? He started off ranting into his phone about Nile Ranger, I think. And look at him now, I don't know if it's because he got in with a younger crew. That Lawrence guy, he's sort of his sort of partner or whatever. Now, he'd obviously worked, I think, in TV or in, definitely in media of some description and filming and production and all that sort of stuff. So he had somebody on board with him who had a lot of the skills that a lot of these YouTubers haven't got. Somebody like myself. I got my phone but there. I dropped it actually when I was setting up. If that had smashed, my fucking career's over. So he had somebody like Lawrence on board, to sort of try and make things a bit more professional. And now, people talk about James English, Sean Atwood. True Geordi's the fucking podcast governor in this country. I watched him the other day, actually, with Louis Theroux, 1.5 hours or something. Him, Lawrence, Louis Theroux talking. I love Louis Theroux. He's the absolute governor of documentaries and stuff in this country. And, a proper, decent interview. He's had Ricky Gervais on. He's done all sorts, and he's what people should be aiming at, But yeah, maybe it's because he got in with a younger crowd, innit, A lot of these sort of YouTubers, especially the reform gangster types, and a lot of them are like 40, 50 years of age. Not much talent on the technology side. And I've been trying to fucking learn as I go along. True Geordi got in with a lot of 20-odd-year-olds, didn't he? Which gave him a lot of appeal to a lot of younger YouTubers. I think a lot of people are watching all this shit that I'm talking about here now. I think the majority are probably like 30s, 40s and, 50s. Whereas I think True Geordi, a lot of his sort of listeners, followers, subs, probably got a lot more in the 20s, innit? More of a like Ant and Dec, 3 generations. So yeah, I think that's the market that, I think that's why the subs in this area of YouTube only gets to a certain level, doesn't it, To get your sort of 10, 20, 30, 40,000 views, you only get, I think to go into the hundreds of thousands, the millions and all that, you need the 20-odd-year-olds involved. Because, 100% of them are online, aren't they? Almost digital natives. They've almost never known a world without the internet. Flying Monk, a bit of a bit part player. I like Monk, talks quite honestly about his struggles. Not entirely sure. I was debating putting him in because he's not, really, as I say, he's a good song he put on the other day. Yeah, I think it was because he was having a bit of a beef with somebody. Freaking out a bit. But, he's another one. He's a bit vulnerable for all this, isn't he? And I think, I was a bit taken aback with his musical skills. So he is one who could branch out, He's got a few strings to his bow. Some people haven't, But yeah, I like Monk. Ron Swanson. Now, I wouldn't have him babysitting my kids. Don't take it the wrong way, Ron. Because he'll probably make a fucking 9-hour fucking documentary on me with loads of creepy imagery in it. Yeah, first saw him on Atwood. And, exposing paedophiles apparently and all that sort of stuff. That was his sort of game, wasn't it? Probably still is. And if that's what he's doing, well, nice one, thank you. Take me out after you. But just, I found it all a bit creepy. Like I say with Atwood, people are too overly sort of sexual and that. Do you know what I mean? Save that for your missus, isn't it? It's like I just found it a bit, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Even his videos he's been making lately. It's just his way of doing it. He's talking about very seedy subjects. Well, you don't need all that fucking garnish on it. Just talk about the facts of what you're trying to do. And, you don't need to make your videos seem as seedy as the sort of stuff you're supposedly taking down, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. And, you know, that recording of him and Dirka Herger talking about English and all that. And then all of a sudden he's coming out, fucking, that's nothing to do with me and blah, blah. I'll take him down. It's like damage limitation, and he's done quite well, actually, to get out of that, really, hasn't he? Dr. Rackpull, the legendary Dr. Rackpull. He's been on YouTube for years. He was doing his weightlifting stuff, and he was doing all sorts, and then he stumbled into this game, didn't he? I like Rackpull. Tells it like it is. Funny. He's just like a comedy character, really, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? But he's got that sort of little ruthlessness about him. He knows how to play this game anyway. You know, he knows how to play this game. He knows how to say exactly what he wants to say, but keep himself you don't get involved, you know, don't hear of Rackpull having a beef with one individual, do you know what I mean? But he doesn't really not say what he thinks. Rare skill. But yeah, I do like the dog. It's Mrs. voice a bit annoying, isn't it? Karma Corner. Another one who's gone sort of above and beyond the Call of Duty, you know, to try and do the right thing. I do find myself skipping through the first minute or two now. The singing and all that, it does get a bit much. But, you know, he's passionately trying to fucking do the right thing, you know. Some people are just commenting on it. Some people are sort of activists, aren't they, to get things done, to get certain people held to account. And, you know, you got to respect the effort he makes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, very important part of this game. Dougie Joyce and Dean Lynch Ward, I think they're cousins. Yeah, very strange. Who said something about me? Oh, your favourite demon? Yeah, he made a video sort of calling them out a little bit about a video that they'd made about Jordan McCann. Definitely got themselves in the thick of it, you know. They're if they can pull off this 3D Fight Club, then they're onto a really good thing. Yeah, see, it's probably the first time in this video I'm like choosing my words more carefully, which is a bit weird. I'm the least of our concerns. But yeah, I think, you know, I think they look after number one in it, you know. I'm sure all these people do, but as my mate used to say, me first next. So hopefully they can pull this off. If you're watching, Dougie or Dean, go back to my previous video, $9.99 a month. Maybe you saw it, and this is where the idea come from, because all the things I said are happening. You know, press conferences. They could have cameras in the dressing rooms when they get there. You know, what they need to spend money on is the filming side of it, yeah? All that side of it, because they're still, like I said about True Geordi, what Dougie and Dean need is to get some very talented people on board when it comes to the social media, the filming and all that, so they can start making like promo videos of each fighter professionally. Do you know what I mean? So you can get really good little 5-minute videos. So with the build up then, you know, they can start generating ad revenue and stuff like that off the YouTube channel. But they would have worked it out, you know, pay-per-view. As I say, I think $9.99. 999 is a funny number and amongst all this in there, but 20,000 people, $9.99, 200 grand. Probably make another 10 2-grand tables, that's 20 grand. Probably make another 30, 40 grand on the night, so there's 240 grand coming in. Then you've got your sort of ad revenue, you know, your money you can make from YouTube on the back of this. Sponsorship or whatever, you know, on the night, etc. So there's no reason they can't generate 250, 300 grand. As I say, pay the fighters average of 10 grand each. And then if they, if they do spend some serious money on the media side of it, so that the night runs smoothly on and offline, if they're charging people 10, 20 quid, whatever it is for the pay-per-view, on the night, I want to fucking press the button and it's all there, with no faffing about. If that happens, you're going to do it the next time, innit? Like somebody said the other day, they got one chance to get this right. So I think if I had any advice for them, it would be the media side of it, the filming. It's no good just having two guys there on a night with camera phones, and do you know what I mean? You need it done properly, and that costs money, but as I've explained, there's money being generated. Johnny Woodsman, I had to put him in. He left a message on one of my videos the other day about that big. Yeah. Strange character. I think he enjoys falling out with people and then realises there's big repercussions to it. Says a lot of things that shouldn't really be said, but then he says he's joking. Maybe he is, so maybe he should be able to say what he wants, but there are consequences to these things, yeah? And, like they say in the sort of drug addiction game, recovery game, you can do whatever you want as long as you're prepared to pay, or as long as you're prepared to deal with the consequences, And they say that about relapsing on drugs, and YouTube's the same. You can do whatever you want in this game as long as you're prepared to deal with the consequences. And I think Johnny, brings too much attention to himself and then can't deal with it if it's not positive. So, troubled lad. Maybe got left in here. Am I going to do all this in one video now? Ashstring. Spoke about him on a video recently. Troubled lad. Needs proper help, I think. Made that mistake several times of getting absolutely pissed as fuck, banging out a load of videos and then having to delete them in the morning, thinking that they're deleted. Of course they're not. Somebody's seen them, somebody copies them, material goes out the next day. Saw him the other day making a video saying that he wanted to talk to the Island Boys. Now, I might be in there, probably am, I don't know. I've had a drink problem all my life, really. I'm not very good at drinking, yeah. I've made videos and gone on Facebook Lives drunk, and you watch it the next day or whatever, it's fucking embarrassing, yeah. So getting pissed as fuck when you're probably alcoholic and going online spouting is never going to be a good idea. And he doesn't seem to be learning that lesson because he needs the attention too much. Because when he comes on, he gets a lot of attention. But it's not good attention, Ash. So he's a bit like Johnny Woodsman. You need to actually sort your life out, and maybe YouTube is not the place to do it. Wish him well, though. I like him, very entertaining. I've watched a lot of the stuff with the Christmas, New Year lives, fucking hilarious, madness, sad, yeah, the lot, but you don't want to be the person at the centre of all that shit, Ash. James English, very much involved in all this, quietly behind the scenes. Always liked watching his stuff. Used to love a Sunday morning, 10 o'clock on Sunday morning when he used to bring a video out, and many's the time, especially in the summer. Lovely day today, actually. Beautiful sunny day in Swansea. But as many's the time I would sit in my garden, headphones on, cup of tea, have a fag, cigarette for my American fans, and I listen to James English. Had some top quality guests. Yeah, he's not to be fucked with, really, as Swanson found out. He's not a guy's name you want to be mentioning because he's very well connected. he sort of dipped into these podcast wars and then dipped back out, you know. Got big plans, big dreams, you know. The fame costs, and right here's where you start paying in sweat. That's one for our older fans, Kids from Fame, that. But yeah, English, you know, I think he's obviously one of the top podcasters in the country. Knows how to interview, knows when to shut up and listen, you know. Good interviewer, actually, on that front. I watched his homeless documentary before Christmas he made a few years ago. Fucking brilliant. Very moving. So he's done some real stuff, you know. He's taken it to another level. And like him and Atwood took it to a level. People try and get there. Atwood's sort of come back towards this more amateur side of things. English has kept that distance, but he's finding it hard to, you know, how do you get from English's level to True Geordi's level, you know? It's, yeah. Danny Christy. I like this guy. Took it to Durga-Hurgi, didn't he, in that fight? Was one of the ones, you know, bringing this out in the first place. He's getting a lot of grief from certain quarters now for, oh, you're going to fight this guy. This is where all this sort of ongoing 3D Fight Club, where people are taking different standpoints in it, you know, of people like, oh, if he's on the bill, you know, if he's on the bill, I'm not going to watch it, you know, oh, I'm not watching a bloody sex offender fight, I'm not putting money in his pocket, you know. 2 words for that. Mike Tyson. Now, when he came out of jail, did anybody refuse to watch Mike Tyson? You know, because he'd been convicted of similar sort of offences we're talking about here. You know, I don't think there's probably many people who refused on moral grounds to watch Tyson, you know. I don't know if Tyson was wrongly convicted, you know, set up or whatever. Sort of often thought, you know, it was a bit dubious. And I love Tyson, you know, fucking as most people do. Used to watch his podcast, was it Hot Boxing? When he had that Eben guy, I liked it then. I stopped watching it when he left for some reason, but, you know, he's another one. There's a thing that they say in recovery, right, in addiction. A lot of people have heard describe addiction. It's like, oh, it's like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. You know, meaning, you know, if you keep on doing drugs when you know you can't, it's like every day it's like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, knowing you're going to get your head kicked in, and then the next day going back in the ring for more. And, you know, when Mike Tyson had fucking addiction issues and all that, it was like he couldn't avoid going in the ring with Mike Tyson on a daily basis, do you know what I mean? But incredible bloke. Yeah, Christy though. And, you know, if he's been offered like 30, 40, 50 grand to fight, you know, and I think he said he'll do it as long as the other guy isn't making any money. You know, you can't really turn down that amount of money, can you? Do you know what I mean? You know. And I know everybody involved, everybody wants to, you know, keep their morals, keep their dignity, and I suppose most people in this game want to get paid as well. You know, and yeah, I wouldn't criticise him for taking this fight, because I'll watch it, even if I hate the other guy, you know, even if I think what the other guy's done is fucking wrong and should be held to account. Well, if, you know, if what he's supposed to have done, he's done, he should be held account, you know, through the judicial system, innit? And, you know, you might get kicked off YouTube. If you do all stuff like that, you should be in jail, innit? Out the fucking way, do you know what I mean? But I don't know all the facts, you know, yeah. How many more we got here? There's going to be nobody watching at this point. Ben Hatchett, don't know a hell of a lot about this guy. He's in Broadmoor when he came out. Who's he fighting now? He's supposed to be fighting Bobby and Ethan Dundee. Bobby's disappeared lately, which may be a good sign. He may be training. Next time he'll come on now, Bobby be fucking 15 stone, won't he? Fucking throwing out some big fucking jabs. So yeah, Ben Hatchett, yeah, he's on the card. As I said, I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, you know. He seems to dip in and out, and Your favourite demon, like watching his channel. As I mentioned earlier, he made a video about Dean and Dougie the other day, you know, critiquing one of their videos. And he wasn't afraid to say it like it is, you know. Maybe having a mask on helps. But, yeah, I like his videos. Doesn't fucking bang too many of them out. He seems to put a bit of time and effort into them. And, yeah, I think I've watched him since the start, like him. Uncle K, no, I like K. He's one of these people that I can imagine him being like my mate, and I like him, but loads of other people don't, and I think, yeah, I understand why I don't like him, but he's my mate, do you know what I mean? Says it like it is, fucking big old freak out, you know, the other day, wasn't it? Which I thought was a bit, fucking calm down, son. You know, he's got this thing going on with real Danny G now, and, you know, I don't know who's who in this game, but there is a difference in there between street fighting, organised fighting in a ring, and then just people just going to meet up where there's no fucking rules, do you know what I mean? And it's hard to tell how big people are when you watch them on YouTube, but Kay doesn't look like a fucking 6'3", fucking big, huge fucker. But he seems to be prepared to go meet anybody, do you know what I mean? So if you like that, when you get to these places, you're probably prepared to do, you know, anything. And that's a dangerous animal, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Brian Getty stopped doing his lives. I used to like watching him because he just says what he thinks, you know, no filter, no thing of, you know. And he's like, right, this is what I think, bang, and I'm fucking sticking to it. And I like that in a man. Brian Cockrell. You know, I remember seeing that Taxman video years ago, and that proper, like, fucking old school, and watched a few of his videos now. He's having a few health issues. He'll be alright there, Bri. But yeah, you know, another one from that old school, you know, him and his missus when they were first doing lives, when they, and it's just a bit like me, innit? Just put the phone down and chat away, and don't really know much about the technology and all that, but I think he's a man of God now, so doing good things, yeah, you know. And when his name was brought up in the Durgle Hurgle, fucking all that business, do you know what I mean? He was straight on saying, don't fuck with me, mate. You know what I mean? Don't go fucking bringing me into all this shit. So yeah, don't want to fuck with him. Ditchy, another one I struggle with a bit, you know. I think somebody said, I was watching earlier, you know, he'd made a 17-minute video about his fight with living in London, and 15 minutes it was him saying how great he is. You know, I struggle with people who are always bigging themselves up, you know, with no sort of filter, no thought of, you know, maybe it's a defense mechanism, maybe he is insecure really, so he has to big himself up, but, you know, it's like sometimes when he's on lives, he like tries to explain how YouTube works to everybody, like he's like an expert on YouTube, do you know what I mean? And like he's the godfather of YouTube and all that. But yeah, so I don't know why I don't naturally sort of I find him a bit tricky to listen to. As I say, maybe it's because he just bigs himself up too much, and I find that a bit weird. But yeah, he's on the bill. Eamon living in London. Fuck, who's going to win that? It's hard to know, innit? As I say, I'm not much of a fighter. If somebody comes on, right, YouTube, and they're like, talking about their fights, I'm like, oh, fucking bad. If they come across with that complete confidence that they're going to destroy somebody, I just think, fuck, he must be hard as fuck. And then the next guy comes on and he was fighting and says the same thing, and I'm like, oh, fuck, he must be hard as fuck. I don't know. I've never been a very confident lad. Ronan, because he's an island boy, just trying to make it, because he's an island boy. He's another strange one, Ronan. He tried to burst on the scene like Megan Richards, got himself, deeply involved with Durgle Hurgle. Got a load of shit for that video, came back, tried to terrorise Videocraig, got good and bad press for that. He's growing on me a bit. He's a nice bloody lad. I think, it's like a few of them. I think he's just trying a bit too hard. People think, oh, right, there's this YouTube game. Right, I want to be a big player in it. Yeah, I want to be a name in it, So, oh, can I go on your live? Yeah, can I go on your live? Yeah, all right, can I go? He was on Steve Wraith's, well, it wasn't Steve Wraith. He's on with Steve Wraith with a guy, Paul Ellis, I think his name is. He was on with him, and then he gets it everywhere, doesn't he? Maybe he's just really ambitious, but sometimes he'll be on a panel and he'll be like, and it's like, mate, you haven't done enough research to warrant the comment you're about to make. Do you know what I mean? But I think he just really wants to be a player in this, and he probably will end up being, something. Puts the work in. Tried too much too young at the start, wasn't it? But maybe he's learned from it. But we've had a couple of little exchanges when I put messages on his videos and he's replied, and it's quite funny, really. Harmless, I suppose. Fighting trolls, right in the thick of it. How many we got left? Right in the thick of it, old Paul, and he's grown on me over the months and that, gets a load of shit, then he gets a load of stick, fucking keeps on plugging away. Lot of fucking, players in this game seem to like him as well. I think he talks about the jealousy and all that, sometimes he says it and I think, what are you on about? But there also is an element of that as well, I think, in there. I think there are people who think they're better qualified to be in Fighting Troll's position in this game than him. But I think a lot of his skills you can't learn, Like he says, to be able to do a 3-hour live, right? And keep it taken over, even though, he'll go on his phone sometimes, or it'll be chaos sometimes. He's funny, man. It was funny last night when there was those two girls arguing, Steph and DCI Lambrini were having a bit of a ruck, and Paul was just winding it along quietly, and then tried to calm it down at the end. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got a good art in it, and I think initially he got a bit carried away with all this fight thing, but he'll probably take it more seriously. And strange one, innit? He's he gets a lot of attention, doesn't he? And it must be a lot to fucking handle. Like Astring, when he was doing his lives, he was just literally trying to be Paul. Obviously, him and Kay have had a big falling out now. When they seemed like they got on alright. And it's like when Kay went off and did his own live, I think as much as Paul was like, oh, I think he was a bit like, and I think Kay was like, with Paul. But then it all went a bit wrong, didn't it? Yeah, but he's alright, old trolls, isn't he? Fuck. He's very much at the centre of a lot of this nonsense. Hoover, a bit like Fighting Monk. Don't really know why I put Hoover in. Not a huge player, is he? You know, a bit more of a... Follow his channel, you know. When I've watched his videos, they're pretty good, actually. It's funny, him and Woodsman, you know, seeing him go at Woodsman. Bit of a detective, old Hoover, and he, you know, he'll go off and fucking put a nice video together. Very much involved, but, you know, not a major player, but nice guy. Worth putting in there, like Monk and that, you know, worth putting in, but like another one, Peepee. I love old Peepee. You know, a bit of a sort of grandfather figure and all this, innit? Sometimes he's the only one talking any sense. As I said lately, he put a lovely comment on one of my videos, The Fuck Girl's Coming Home, the movie. Don't even know if it was him or a fake one, but yeah, seems like a nice guy. And I saw him talking the other day to the Central Club podcast guy about him being interviewed, and it would be nice to hear Peepee's full story, yeah, you know, get to know, so I'm sure it's a very interesting backstory, but yeah, Peepee's cool, man. What we got? We only got 2 left. Real Danny G. Yeah, as I say, he sent me a lovely message the other day. I think he subscribes. Wagwan. I think I've talked about some of this in previous video, you know. Some of his ranting videos, entertainment, yeah, fuck, but mad, yeah. But I think him and Kay have, you know, this beef has gone a little bit deep now, I think. I think Kay put up a message somewhere earlier saying I drove halfway to fucking Birmingham. I was halfway to Birmingham and he blocked me or something. You know, yeah, you know, I think Danny G would like to not be too deeply involved in this. You know, he wasn't sort of directly involved in the sort of fighting trolls sort of unit and all that, innit? And I think it's only since really that video that when the real Danny G done that live when he was off his twat at Christmas, and then bang, people jumped on it. And I think it's dragged him over into that sort of circle now. And he's clapped back at him and he's clapped back at him, and now there's like all this woo, do you know what I mean? Drama going on. Look at that, the last one to come out, look, I'm not even fucking joking. And I haven't been looking, as you've seen. Can you see that? Old Dicky Higgy himself, very much at the centre of all this. Just the way he likes it, probably. I've always said, innocent till proven guilty. People are like, show us your acro. People are bringing out their own acros now. I think he probably can't bring out his acro because it probably won't it won't make him look any better than he does now, and very possibly a lot worse. Apparently he's back on this fight bill for bus fare. Would he do that? Probably, rather than not be involved. He probably thinks he'll make his money off his own promotion and his, you know, his YouTube videos and views and his YouTube advertising revenue that he'll make off the back of his preparation. So that's what will probably happen if Deck is gonna fight Christy, and Christy will say, I'm not fighting him if he's getting paid because he's cunt. And Dean and Dougie can sort of save face by saying, yeah, Decker's on the bill, but he's not getting paid, or his money's going to charity. And Decker will go, yeah, okay. And then Decker will make fucking a video every day about it. Get loads of views because they'll be interested in what he's saying. He'll make a load of money that way. If he's done all these things he's supposed to have done, you know, where's the accountability through the judiciary? God knows. Weird that he came out last. Very, very weird. Anyway, I trust you probably watched this in several sort of bits. If you watch this in one go, if you've watched all this in one go, yeah, wow, I must have you right there. If you have, send me a private message. I'll give you my PayPal address, yeah. And I've just given you an hour's entertainment, yeah. Oh, come on, give me some money, come on. Fuck, that's what it's like, innit? That's how they lull you in, see? That's how they lull you in. Get nice and friendly. And then make it financial. Anyway, it's a lovely day, and I get out there and I think of it in the real world. Too much time in this world we're all spending, aren't we? Get out there and I think of it.